All right, we are back. I am your boy PhD Iro here again, and the technical difficulties are finally over. So I'm here to talk about basically what happened today. The ongoing drama between Robinhood, Melvin Capital, Citadel, and GameStop and AMC. That's a mouthful. And basically everything else that's going on right now. All right, so first things first, if you like the content, please like and subscribe, share with friends, trying to grow to 100 followers, help your boy out. All right, moving on from there, let's get started. So the general drama about what's going on is that mostly the CEO of Robinhood done. So the man in an interview with CNBC last year, well not last year, excuse me, last week. Ooh, felt like last year. Last week was basically him finding new and various ways to screw up a slam dunk interview. So the anchor, after asking him what's going on with your company, why is all this happening, so on and so forth, the Robinhood CEO was like, "Hey, we're the underdog, we're the small guy, and these clearing firms are basically like, you got to have so much money to play to be able to front the charges." So, little logistics about stocks. When you buy a stock, it is not instantaneous. It takes 2 days to clear. And between those 2 days, a middleman, a clearinghouse, receives the funds and holds them in lieu until they are transferred. You may ask, why can't they just use the money I just gave them to do my stuff? That's illegal. It's illegal because a firm in years past did that, then went bankrupt, and then the people couldn't get their money back. So that's a legitimate safety measure for the trader, not the middleman and XYZ. So we have our wonderful Robinhood CEO basically getting pitched a softball question. Can you tell us what happened and give us your side of the story? And he basically is like, all right, again, we're the underdog. We don't really have that much capital. Um, and we're just doing the best we can to serve our members. Pretty good answer, nothing horrible. Then this man messes up the easiest question in the world. So the interviewer is like, all right, so it seemed like y'all just have a liquidity problem. All the CEO of Robinhood, Mr. Vlad, had to say was yes. All this man had to say is, yes, we have a liquidity problem. But since we are one of the youngest people in the game, we are increasing our credit thresholds, streamlining our process, and getting more money so we can keep fronting these trades, even if, like the clearinghouses did when GMC and AMC and everybody else was real popping, wants 100% instead of the 2% usual down payment. We got this. It ain't up with a thing. Robinhood, on the other hand, was not that quick on the draw. He said, and I'm gonna try to say it verbatim, we don't have a liquidity problem because we stopped and hindered trading. Yep. So this leaves everybody else a little bit of pickle. So on one hand, you have Robinhood saying, "Hey, no, we have no problems being liquid," when it's obviously a liquidity problem. So to take the man at his word, if it's not a liquidity problem, what's the problem? Why did you shut down trades to your people? Valid question. And this is where things starts going off the bloody rails. So our Robinhood CEO. If Robinhood was one of the very first people, so a little bit of history. Robinhood was one of the very first people to offer fractional trades and commission-free trading. To do so, they have to have another way to make money because most brokerages make their money off commissions. So they make their money off basically selling data. It's the Google and Bing and everybody else business model. That's about it. You are the product, and the service they're offering you is a way to make you the product more, incentivized to use their platform. So no harm, no foul. It is what it is. So one of their biggest business partners is Citadel. That's important. So Melvin Capital, the people who did all this craziness, had the brilliant idea, which led to all this craziness, to shorter stock over what it should have been. That basically means if a stock has 100 shares, they're like, hey, bro, let me hold a share till Monday. All right, they're like, all right, you get to hold a share. Now there's 99 shares. Let's say 99 other people come in and are like, hey, let me hold a share until Monday. Then the 101st person is like, hey, let me hold a share to Monday. At this point, there's no more shares to give. But there's a thing you can do called overshorting, which will create naked shorting, which is illegal. That's also important. Where you basically like, all right, I'm going to let you hold a share on loan from another person. So the first person basically loans their share to the 101st person. And it just goes down here from there. So Melvin Capital shorted stocks to the tune of somewhere around 140%. So a lot. Which means there was almost for every one share, there was almost 2 shares outstanding. Which, if you didn't know, is bad. Real bad. Thus, this whole short squeeze thing comes about. So make this not as long-winded. Melvin Capital did some fuck shit. They got caught with their pants down. And now we're in the middle of a trade war. Because one of those people, one of the players in the game is Citadel. Citadel basically gave Melvin Capital about $3 billion to save their bacon. Because they had done goof so hard and we had done took so much money from them, they were about to be insolvent, aka bankrupt. So now you have Melvin Capital, Citadel, who bought out, gave a loan to Melvin Capital, and Robinhood, whose biggest trading partner or facilitator is Citadel Capital. So yeah, that's not good, folks. That's a whole lot of not good. So that's why everybody's losing their goddamn minds, because one of the people who stand to benefit from the stock going into the toilet basically pays Robinhood bills. That's why everybody's mad. Obviously so, because it's crazy. All right, so moving on. While there's a massive pissing match between Wall Street bets and Wall Street, it gives everybody else who's not in the middle of this war time to do something that doesn't usually get to happen. Y'all get to have stocks on discount. How are they on discount, you say? Why? I am glad you asked. Because, one a very important reason, everybody's so worried, and so there's so much attention on this war that the stock market is in bloody ruin. Sorry. So everybody's paying attention, and everybody and these hedge funds are having to sell their long positions, which are their not, betting positions in other stocks to cover the amount of money they are hemorrhaging from the war they're in. Which means as more of a stock sells, the lower its price goes down because there's more supply. It's a supply and demand type ratio. So anything, the Dow dropped Friday 1,000 points. Everybody from Tesla to GE to random cannabis farmers was in the red, 5 to 10%. It rebounded today, got to, I think they recovered about 4%. So that still leaves a bunch of y'all, if you want to get into the stock market now, the ability to get stocks on discount. And that's what I would do. This leads us to our third part. What stocks should you get on this 5 to 10% discount sale? If I were you, and again, this is not financial advice because I am not a financial person. Well, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just a dude on the internet who likes to play magic and talk about the world. With that out of the way, if I was going to acquisition these discount stocks, I would basically be following Joe Biden's blueprint that he has for America, which is to electrify it. For those who wasn't aware, Joe Biden wants to electrify America to help dealing with our ever-growing problem with climate change. And yes, it's a problem. If you don't believe it's a problem, please learn the difference between weather and climate. The climate is getting, all right, so global warming is kind of a misnomer as much as it's not. There should be something more akin to global accelerated change. It doesn't have near as good as rain, but it would be vastly more accurate. So global accelerated change, aka global warming, is basically a severe shift in the patterns and the intensity of our weather. So it could be warming, it could be cooling, it could be melting, it could be anything else. But it doesn't just have to be warm, things getting warmer. So, that being said, Joe Biden wants to electrify the entire U.S. fleet, from every mail truck to every delivery van to every transport van that, the military and everybody else in between uses. Which means there is ample opportunity right now to put money into things that are going to be supplying the electric vehicles and everything up and down the chain. And everything up and down the chain would be Tesla. Tesla, Workhorse, who is currently under contract with the U.S. Postal Service to supply their new vans. And I particularly like Piedmont Lithium because they're the ones who are, again, going to be supplying the lithium, which is needed for most of these batteries. Piedmont Lithium is local to South Carolina, and they have a massive lithium mine. The best way to do stocks is you figure out what the need is, and then you figure out who's going to be supplying this need. So in this scenario, the need is electric cars, and the person supplying electric cars would be Tesla, GM, Caterpillar, people along those lines. But then you have to go a step further and be like, who are the ones who are going to be supplying the suppliers? And that is where you make your money at. Because those stocks are behind the scenes and usually much less expensive, but they also go up proportionally to everything else. So, speaking with our Tesla example, Tesla goes up, Piedmont Electric, Panasonic, the price of steel also goes up. So, then you have this perfect storm of things to buy that have a bigger margin of growth because they started out cheaper, but they grow proportionally to the bigger stocks, aka Tesla, in the scenario. And that's how you basically work your way down a supply line to figure out where your money should go. And that's basically it. Stocks are really, really simple once you think about it. It's all about supply and demand, what companies are going to be doing the supply and demanding. Excuse me. Mhm. All right, since we really don't have any other questions right now, and that's all the knowledge I have currently, this is probably where we're going to end our stream for today. Again, I am Peace T. Iro. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Follow my social media. Like and subscribe and share this with your friends. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers, and then we're just going to be able to grow from there. Um, I'm PTR again. Wash your hands, wear a mask. Peace out. I love y'all. Peace.